To mention that if you use the keyword food at AlanCoxShow.com, we're keeping a running tally of, we've pivoted from the places that are closed, because that's basically everywhere, to the places that will deliver food. They're open for care and delivery and all that. And there are a lot of bands that are still postponing their tours. Foo Fighters postponed the date here in Cleveland. The Rolling Stones postponed their summer tour. So that's no First Energy Stadium spot from them. Other bands are being more optimistic and are announcing their tours. Collective Soul is going out with Better Than Ezra.
Ooh. You're
going to party like it's 1995, my friend.
Hell yeah.
Collective Soul with Better Than Ezra and special guest Tonic. Remember Tonic? The Just Looking Around tour will optimistically kick off May 29th in Arizona and run through the end of July in Washington. There is the only Ohio show is out near Dayton on June 23rd, my birthday.
Happy birthday, Alan.
So, you'll have to travel if you really love Collective Soul. Better Than Ezra, by the way. Better Than Ezra, a band from New Orleans.
I like Better Than Ezra.
I don't think I know them.
I like the old Norm Macdonald joke.
Oh, what was that?
Just a lug.
Ew.
Well, that means it's not... If it's a wet cough, it's good.
I thought I had a freak out moment last night because I was laying on my couch freezing cold and I forgot that I turned my heater up, and I woke up in the middle of the night like sweating and my throat was all dry, and I was like, this can't be it, this can't be it. And I went and I looked and my heater was set to 76. So I was like, okay, I'm just an idiot. All right, that's fine.
That's right.
Norm Macdonald joke.
Sorry.
Norm Macdonald, years ago, he said Better Than Ezra was the number 2 band on the Billboard charts. The number 1 band... Or no, I screwed it up. Better Than Ezra was the number 1 band on the Billboard charts. In second place, Ezra. But I love the Better Than Ezra as a New Orleans band. I like how they had to have the mounted police go through Bourbon Street and tell people to go home. Because even though Louisiana had band gatherings, just like every other state, people were out on Bourbon Street in full force. So the cops are down there, sirens, lights blazing.
Everyone's martial law.
What does that mean?
It's when the martial law is when the government institutes curfews and things. You can't leave your home. Jason came up here from Florida,
National Guard,
and he's lived through hurricane martial law and things like that. And we're like, there's a curfew for 2 months. So it's just military control of local law enforcement.
Got it.
That's why there's a run on guns, right? All the gun dudes are freaking out. But the Bourbon Street cops had to clear the streets. Felt like it would be a little bit more intelligible than that, but Nevertheless, it is what it is. There were a lot of people, boy, down there. They're not going to let a little coronavirus screw them up.
Yeah, they have other viruses that they want to contract while they're down there.
They really do.
Yeah, right.
I didn't go to New Orleans to get the coronavirus. If you don't follow our friend Roy Wood Jr. on Instagram, you absolutely should, because he's consistently hilarious. And he mentioned that he called to check on his uncle, who pronounced it Kojic-19.
Kojic.
He said, I can only assume he hasn't washed his hands. Please pray for my family. He said, to be honest, we dodged a bullet. That social distancing could have hit the same time as the Popeyes chicken sandwich, and Dat Rona would have killed us all. People would not have stayed home if this was during the Popeyes chicken sandwich.
Boy, that came and went, didn't it?
The Popeyes chicken sandwich?
Yeah.
It was like a month, wasn't it?
Nobody's getting stabbed or shot anymore. I don't hear about it. At least it's not in the news cycle. But I think I was on...
Well, it ran its course. That was like a food virus. It ran its course through the culture. I'm sure a lot of people got sick. And then it went away. And a few people died, yes. The Popeyes chicken sandwich was the virus of last fall. Or winter, whatever. I don't feel like that happened in winter. Because it was a mild winter, so... Who knows? People outside trying to get that goddamn chicken sandwich.
I think I was in Minnesota when you guys
had them on
tried
the show.
them. That would have been November. Yeah. I'm almost positive. That was my last long stretch. I was gone for 17 days, and you guys had them while I was gone.
It was November because that was right before I was getting ready to go to San Diego.
And I was getting ready to... I was going to film something with one of them, like one of the bags. I was going to walk around as Santa Claus with a Popeye's bag, but with a regular McChicken in it. But it just... It died off like as I got the chicken sandwich. So I was like, this isn't going to be relevant anymore.
Yeah, it was a legit sandwich, though.
I was so mad. I saw it all over your guys' Instagram, and I'm like, oh.
When it comes to food, I'm a tough customer with all that novelty crap.
It was so big.
That was a good sandwich.
It was big, yeah.
It was good.
Yeah, I didn't need the whole meal. Like Chick-fil-A, I need the waffle fries, and I need like the large drink.
That's one of those things where I go, I'll have a bite, and I'll try it, and it'll be fine. We'll see how it tastes. I ate the whole thing.
Good.
Yeah.
In here.
Wow.
Which is
It
unheard
doesn't
of for
happen.
Alan.
He doesn't eat in the studio.
That's right. Certainly not now. I got a letter from Dan, who is one of our bureau chiefs in Poundcake, South Korea. I shouldn't say one of. He is our bureau chief in Poundcake, South Korea. I think he's a Marine, but he works with the Army Corps of Engineers. And he checked in with us a while ago, talking because he's over in South Korea. And he hit us up on the 27th of February, said he was working from home. And he works on a base, and they had reduced to a mission essential personnel. So that's really before everything blew up. And he's like, we're still out here surviving in Korea. Things are turning for the better, despite all the churches in any scientific viral pandemic. Churches and religious people will be your weakest link, usually in these. There was a church in South Korea that said that they would spray salt water in the mouth of the people who went to that church, and that would help prevent the spread of the coronavirus. See, when it comes to science and explaining these things, you can always turn to science because they will have some kind of answer for you. Religion has to keep making up their answers. So this church, it's not like we've cornered the market on gullible people in this country. South Korea, they said, well, we're going to spray you full of salt water, and that'll fend off the coronavirus, except they used the same spray bottle without disinfecting the nozzle.
Oh my God.
And so they got 46 people infected.
Are you kidding me?
Faith.
Including the pastor and his wife.
They're treating the coronavirus like a canker sore. You'll be fine. Just rinse it with
There's a lot of people who think that's what it is, and for some people it will be that.
I guarantee you.
You just got to hope you're one of those people. I love the Skittles analogy with your brother that somebody said the other day. Your Mary's brother, famously very, very not in the camp of this is anything we should worry about. Somebody said, give him 100 Skittles and tell him that 5 of them will kill him.
Yeah.
And then tell me if he'll eat the Skittles.
He just posted, what color? He just posted yesterday and was like, tell me how many of you know an actual person personally who has coronavirus. Anybody, because I don't know anybody. And
Ask that question in 3 more weeks.
Idiot.
Yeah. Well, no,
him.
right now he's right.
But he's not.
But I don't know anybody.
Yeah.
Right now he's right. Right now he's right. He will not. See, that's how these things work. There get to be more people. That's how it works. You know, if he had, I'm sure he has.
We might know someone. There's one of our friends is getting tested.
Right.
Tomorrow, because they couldn't get it today, because, I don't know.
Have you had contact with this person?
No, I have not.
Get your ass out of here. Have you had contact with this person?
Have not. Haven't seen her for quite some time.
I don't think I feel like I haven't had contact with anybody in so long, and then I forgot that I had a show on Sunday. And I was like, man, it's been weeks. I've been in my one night in my apartment alone, and I'm dying over here. It's not a good time for extroverts, man. I'm going nuts.
I did Facebook Live with Wanda last night, Wanda Mayfield, and not Instagram Live. So we're just chatting about stuff and talk about. And she's like, "What's the place that doesn't have any yet?" I'm like, "West Virginia," but that's because they're not testing for them. And what they should be testing for there is toothbrushes, and I was pretty proud of that one.
There you go.
I'll just laugh at my own joke.
I watched an entire.
There it is.
I actually didn't hate this idea. There was a comedian who did like a virtual open mic on his Instagram Live, and he's like, hey, if you guys want to join in, I'll give you each a couple minutes. And I watched the whole thing. I watched like 3.5 hours of open mic comedians.
3.5?
Dude, I just sat there on my phone. I was like in between me doing stuff. So I was like cleaning my apartment, and then I like took, washed my face and washed my dishes and stuff. But I kept coming back to it. It was from like 8 to 11.
Why did you keep coming back to it?
I don't know, because I didn't have anything else to do, and I'm starved for comedy. And
Wow.
Did you do a set?
no, I kept requesting to join, and he kept denying it.
Questing to join. Please, please, please let me join.
Come on, I got a good one. Come
Please, please, please let me join. You know who we haven't heard from in some time?
on. Who's that?
Donnie.
Oh, Donnie.
Donnie, our former intern, who has last we talked to him, and it's been months. We talked to him, and he was in North Carolina. He would be the first person I would think would check in to tell us that none of this is going to be a big deal. That would be the denial of the potential of any of this would be right up his alley. I'd love to hear his take on it. But we haven't heard from Donnie in a long time.
I want to say, what, December?
I
Did
was
we
here
hear?
this December. Right
It's
before
been
we
a
went
minute,
off.
boy.
It
It's
was
been a
only,
while.
I think it was only twice last year because he called in for I had never heard of him before, and I think it was last summer during the hurricanes and stuff. He was living on a beach in a tent or something.
Something like that.
Something
Or
like
he's
that,
living
yeah.
with his sister.
Yeah,
or-
something.
yeah.
That was like the summertime, and then I think we heard from him again in December. He was in a truck.
For
I
a
don't
while, he
know.
was calling us. I mean, it's feast or famine with him. For a while, he was calling us like twice a week.
Yeah.
He's calling everybody like twice a week.
Is he like Beetlejuice that we said his name? He'll appear.
Candyman?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I was reading an article on Taiwan about how successful Taiwan has been in fending off the coronavirus. Now, granted, they are an island, but they have a lot of, intercontinental traffic and things like that. And I'm sure that their situation will change too. But relative to everyone else's, Taiwan really went to the mat. We're like, before you go, they're like, business, life is largely going on as usual. Now, granted, for a lot of these Asian countries, life as usual means you're always wearing a mask. But they're like in Taiwan, you want to go to a restaurant, they take your temperature first. And if your temperature is in the range, you don't get to come in. You got to wear a mask. They said that in the entire country of Taiwan, they've had 53 cases and 1 death. As of this past
They're
weekend.
doing it.
Well, you could never go to those extremes here because people will not put up with that here. I mean, that's the trouble with what they're trying to do. The response in this country was way too late. We're really behind the 8 ball. But
Well, it wasn't real yet.
you're also not, people here are not used to what these other countries do.
Right. These are my rights.
Well,
You can't tell me.
we do have rights.
No, I know.
It's just a lot of people are not willing to kind of, it's slippery slope. Okay, fine. Get more ammo and then tell me how well you feel. But
Well, that's what they were talking about with the election being like postponed. They're like, see, it's a big conspiracy. I'm like, he's Republican. Like, usually it's the people that are.
who, Mike DeWine?
Yeah,
No, I don't think Mike DeWine. I think Mike DeWine is a guy who is trying to
I think he is too. And
I think
I'm
he's trying to do the right thing.
Yeah, and I
err on the
vote-
side of caution. And
vote
he's
opposite of
absolutely
him.
right that you'd have people saying it was illegitimate and, you're purposely trying to confuse people and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, I don't know. If you want to use the Alan Cox Show After Hours line, by the way, you can anytime. There are a lot of podcast listeners that can't listen live, and so they will hit us up on that. It is 216-986-8903.
I just want to call in and comment on the debate about the stand versus sit toilet discussion. I have always been a stand to wipe kind of gal. I'm not quite sure where this stemmed from, but it's always seemed to work for me until the invention of the automatic toilet flushes. Since this invention, it has always been a race of who can get done first, me or the automatic toilet flush, and generally the automatic toilet flush wins the race, unfortunately.
I hate
The
that.
automatic toilet flush, yeah.
When you're sitting there and it flushes, like, ah,
I mean,
come
sometimes
on.
when you're just leaning, it will happen.
Well, yeah, you'll try to wipe real quick and throw it in there before
Yeah.
it's done. Yeah.
And I didn't get to see my work, my art.
Art.
Okay.
Fart art?
Here's another one.
Race, unfortunately.
Alan, I'm a day behind on the show, so I don't know where this conversation goes. So that's kind of the fun of it. So I am a stander and a rapper.
I gotta tell you, I wasn't aware so many people stood to wipe.
That's so
That's why I
weird.
had to think
never
about
heard
it.
of it. I've never heard of it. Women, men. I assume there have to be some non-binary people in there who are doing it as well.
He said a stander and a rapper, so he's
Stander
wrapping
and a
up his
rapper.
hand. Yeah.
Right, he's spitting bars while he's doing it.
Stander and a rapper when I wipe. WRAPPER, rapper. I wrap it around the hand. I stand. Sometimes I put a leg up on the seat to get myself the right kind of leverage and angle. It's wasteful, I know. And my fiance walked in on me standing, wiping one day, and asked what the heck I was doing, which made me realize that not everyone, or not even a lot of people, are standers. But I've been standing to wipe my whole life, and I am 41 years old. I'm a proud stander, but I guess I'm in a super minority.
Proud stander at 41.
I was a stander until I went to the Philippines.
You were a stander until you went to the Philippines.
And then you become a squatter while you're there, and then just being able to sit down was such a luxury again. I was like, I'm not about to stand up.
Right.
I thought most people like stood because they were afraid of like the toilet seat. I thought that was the only reason why they stood up. And
They're not standing while they do it. They're not standing while they poop.
Oh, I've had to hover.
You had
He
to
said
hover.
afraid of the toilet
standing
seat.
poop.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to hover if you're like a female out at a bar. Yeah, you're hovering over the toilet seat, but
Here's what I want to hear. I mean, the more I hear about these people doing this, obviously, the less weird it's going to be because now I know these people exist. I want to hear from somebody who goes to the bathroom, number 2, as they're standing straight up, legs together.
you couldn't. It wouldn't come out.
Hey, depends on how hard you want to work.
It might. I don't know. No one's ever tried
Or maybe
it.
it comes out in a long, thin pencil.
Yeah, directly
shape.
between your legs.
There you go. Hey, listen, don't get your hats out of mothballs yet. Along with every other thing that's getting postponed or canceled, this year's Kentucky Derby
I saw that.
is being postponed for the first time since the end of World War II. There was a wartime ban on horse racing in 1945. It was a month after the Germans surrendered. And so only the second time in however long that is, there's simply no way to know how long 1945 was. Okay. But,
Can't they just do the race without people and just let the horses run?
March
You need
17th,
jockeys.
Tuesday, that's today, Tuesday, March 17th, but they announced that they were going to postpone this year's Kentucky Derby. It's the first Sunday in May. It will now take place the Saturday of Labor Day weekend.
How about instead of jockeys, monkeys?
Monkeys
They're
on
not
horses?
trained.
We have nothing but time.
Let's train these
Train
monkeys.
some
Train a monkey
monkeys
to
to
be
ride a
a
horse.
jockey?
Yeah.
They're small, they're
tell you
tiny,
what.
they share 95% of our DNA.
I've never watched the Kentucky Derby, not once. I would watch it if there was monkeys.
Should they rebrand it as the Monkey Derby?
No.
Oh.
It's still happening in Kentucky.
Monkey Derby.
The Kentucky Monkey Derby. I found audio from the last time that they postponed it. The last year the race was not held last time it wasn't held in May was 1945, and they postponed it into the summer. And it's amazing how things have changed if you hear it.
And they're off. Here comes Hoop Jr. Darby Dippy on the far outside trying to cross over at the clubhouse turn. Bodacious Tata settles into 4th. Hoof Hearted in 5th. Brangelina 13th and pretty wide at the first turn. Odor in the court coming around the outside set. Fishwagon and Grandpa Turducken battling it out in the back. Here comes Folly Ollie Ochin free falling ahead. And Hubbabaloo and Authenticality.
I'll tell you what, that is an amazing clip.
You know what?
Who
Prince
won?
Violet from going home.
Here's the thing.
It's right up there with the Hindenburg.
Nobody appreciates the broadcasting of Old Peppermint. You know what I mean? Like that was prime time radio. Yeah.
That was when he was just Peppermint.
He was just Peppermint
Yeah,
at
he
that
wasn't
point.
old
Yeah.
yet. Yep, just
Yeah.
Peppermint.
How did I forget Old Peppermint? How did I forget Old Peppermint? See, I turned my daughter, too, because they were listening to the show yesterday when I was talking about Old Peppermint. So I get home last night, all she wants me to do is Old Peppermint.
Yeah.
I'm like, I thought you didn't like it. She goes, do Old Peppermint. I'm like, well, now I got it. Now I really hoisted by my own petard. So the Kentucky Derby, and I know that there are people even locally who put on those fakakta hats and go to a bar and watch the Derby.
You want to talk about an economic impact? That's all that it is down there, man. Bartender, they stay open till like 4 or 5 in the morning. Oh man, then they reopen at 6. It's insane. It's like 24-hour partying down there, man. It's huge.
So the 146th Run for the Roses. We'll have to wait.
All the hat people that, if you're a hatter,
the
you make
hattists.
hats. The hattists, yeah. The hattists and the wiggists are not going to do well this year.
Hatter's gonna hat.
Yeah.
The haberdashers and hatters are mad. Alan, I wipe laying on my side with my knees pulled up to my chest in the fetal position.
Where are you laying? Across the toilet?
I hope in bed where it's more comfortable and warm.
Oh, obviously.
Bed panner.
Monkeys and duct tape is all we need, somebody said. There you go. Or bungee cords. Monkeys and bungee cords.
You could probably strap them in like a grocery cart. You
I
just
feel
need
like-
a little clip.
I feel like
you know?
they'll figure it out pretty quickly, too. I think if you put a monkey in a saddle on the back of a horse and make the horse go,
It'll come
it's gonna,
naturally?
yeah, they're going to hang on.
What kind of monkey? Like a chimp?
I mean,
Yeah, chimp.
Because I feel like the jockeys are kind of the same size as chimps.
Well,
Yeah,
I think
that'd
first
be good.
what you do first is you winnow through showbiz monkeys. Monkeys who kind of know their way around a performance. You go,
Dunstan checks in.
yeah, which one of you already knows how to smoke a cigar, ride a
Yeah.
bike, yeah, that kind of thing. And then you go on from there. You don't want to just take a random chimp and throw him on a horse. You want to take a chimp who kind of already knows a couple of things.
Dunstan, this is his big
Dunstan
return.
checks in. Mm-hmm. There you go.
Making a comeback.
Yeah. All right. Hey, I will have a copy of MLB The Show 20 for you for the PS4 after the break. You want to text for anything, 35192. Hit up AlanCoxShow.com. We got this week's Alan Cox Show Instagram hotties for you. Got some quarantine trick golf shots there. You can watch live. You can listen live, of course, on the iHeartRadio app.
The Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS and everywhere you go on our free iHeartRadio app.
From the Universal Windows Direct Weather